strange things that will start happening in your life when God has chosen you. Human sight is limited, as Apostle Paul said. We see only in part, but God sees everything. Even great prophets like Samuel saw only partially. When Samuel went to anoint the next king, he initially chose based on appearances, but God chose David, seeing his heart. As believers, we often struggle to believe in God's word for our lives, feeling unworthy or fighting his will. This imposter syndrome can hold us back. If God called you for a purpose, trust that he didn't make a mistake. Your role is not about being perfect, but about fulfilling God's vision through you. Remember, God looks at the heart, not outward appearances. Overcoming obstacles. Fear. Fear paralyzes us and prevents progress. God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of power. Overcome fear to follow God's will. Disobedience, ignoring God's instructions, hinders your purpose. Obedience brings you closer to fulfilling his plan. Negative opinions. People might not see what God sees in you. Prioritize God's voice over human opinions. Feelings of unworthiness are lies. Jesus made you worthy through his sacrifice. Trust God's word over your feelings. Consider David facing Goliath. He wasn't the obvious choice, but God empowered him. Similarly, if God calls you, he will equip you despite your perceived inadequacies. Trust in God's choice and his plan. God doesn't just call you, he partners with you. He'll guide and support you. Reflect on biblical examples like Rahab, who despite her past was used by God for his purposes. Stop resisting and start embracing God's will for your life. Reflect on the lives of biblical figures who weren't perfect but fulfilled God's purposes. You are chosen for a reason. Embrace it and trust in God's plan. Lord, help us to trust your will and purpose for our lives. Strengthen us to overcome fear and doubt and guide us in fulfilling your vision. Becoming the Proverbs 31 woman, a guide for Christian women. The Proverbs 31 woman is a model of virtue, capability, and strength, described in Proverbs 31:10-31. Let's explore how to embody these qualities. Virtuous and capable. Verse 10 describes her as more precious than rubies and already referred to as a wife. Proverbs 18:22 supports this by saying, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing." This means you don't become a wife through marriage. You are already a wife before marriage due to your virtuous qualities. To be virtuous, uphold high moral standards, and pray for strength and guidance. Trustworthy and reliable. Verses 11-12 highlight her trustworthiness, enriching her husband's life. Are you honest, truthful, and reliable? Practice these qualities intentionally, becoming an asset rather than a liability. Hardworking and energetic. Verses 13, 17, and 27 emphasize her diligence and hard work. She isn't lazy and knows what needs to be done. Verses 14, 19, 22, and 24 show her resourcefulness. She cleverly overcomes challenges and makes the most of her opportunities. Use your time wisely, avoid distractions, and ensure your activities bring value. Generous and kind. Verse 20 illustrates her generosity, extending a helping hand to the poor. Be willing to help others without judgment, showing great compassion and kindness. Planner and provider. Verse 21 highlights her planning skills, ensuring her household is prepared for winter. Effective planning prevents your life and family from being left to chance. God-fearing. Verse 30 states, "Charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised." A virtuous woman values and relies on God, seeking his guidance in all she does. Clear signs that your relationship is dangerous. Missing genuine love. If your relationship isn't based on genuine love, it's a sign that God disapproves. God is love and encourages genuine love. As stated in Mark 12:31, love your neighbor as yourself. Relationships founded on beauty, money, or peer pressure aren't from God. When superficial reasons fade, so does conditional love. Negative impact on your relationship with God. A relationship that distances you from God isn't from him. Isaiah 43:21 says, "This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise." If getting closer to someone makes you feel farther from God, it's a clear sign. Absence of God's peace. Thessalonians 3:16 promises God's peace in every situation. If your relationship lacks peace and troubles your heart, God is likely not in it. Pay attention to your feelings. God might be signaling you to reconsider. Longing for something better. God often shows us healthier relationships to motivate us to let go of the wrong ones. If you find yourself longing for a better relationship rooted in God, it's a sign that you deserve and should seek something better. Partner doesn't value God. Being with someone who doesn't value God is a clear no. 2 Corinthians 6:14 advises against teaming up with unbelievers. A partner who doesn't value God can lead you away from Him, affecting His plans for your life. Partner more important than God. Exodus 20:3 warns against having other gods. If your partner takes precedence over God, they become an idol. True love for God is shown by the sacrifices you make for Him. Choosing your partner over God is against His commandment. This is the end of this episode. Follow for more.